Hello and welcome. This episode is for the teachers who love to teach English grammar in the classrooms, sometimes fall short of ideas to do activities in the classroom. I'm going to share some activities and some ideas with you, which I learned from reading various books. For example, one such book is this Grammar Practice Activities, published by Cambridge Handbooks for Language Teachers series. This is one of the books in that series. I'm only sharing the printable, photocopyable, copyright-free ideas with you, which is allowed by the publication. Let us take up one, for example, how to teach adjectives. How to teach adjectives, how to use adjectives before the noun. How this can be done? It can be done in many ways. One of the activities, let me share with you. A teacher can write down some phrases in slips. Teacher can make out the slips like that and write down some phrases. For example, a teacher can write down a tall man, a soft bed, and he can write down soft bed, a black pen, a short story, a young boy, a happy girl, a red light, a brown cow. So teacher can write down some phrases in a slip. Make a group of 4 to 5 students. Distribute these slips among students and ask them not to show it to anyone. Ask them to fold it down and keep them with them. Then each student should read out the noun in the phrase to the others, and others have to guess the adjective. If the student reads out the table or tables, then the others have to guess the adjective used before it. Suppose the children could not guess, the one who has given the noun can give some hint. If he gives a table, he could say the adjective is about a shape. So a round table, a square table, something like that. But the other participant should give the entire phrase, not only adjective. If there is something like this, cow, so then he has to talk about a brown cow, a white cow, something like that. So teacher can give as many phrases as possible, write them down in a slip and hand it over to the children, make them in a group and make them guess the adjectives. Later on, a grammatical aspect can be discussed with them. If they understood how to use the adjectives just by the activities, teacher can leave it there. This is one. Activity 1 for elementary level. Activity 2, it can be little enhanced. It can be used with the intermediate or more than elementary level, or it can be done with even advanced level. What is that? Activity number 2. Teacher can read out a story. Teacher can read out a story, deleting the adjectives which are there in the story. Temporarily, deleting the adjectives temporarily, just to strike them out. It can make sense still, but ask the children to add an adjective everywhere, wherever possible. So when the teacher goes on reading the story, a child must raise the hand and ask the teacher to stop reading because he or she would like to add an adjective there. Let me do it for you. Take a simple story for that matter. Let me read this story to you. One day, King Akbar asked a question in his court that left everyone in the court puzzled. As they all tried to figure out the answer, Birbal walked in and asked what the matter was. They repeated the question to him. The question was, how many crows are there in the city? The question was, how many crows are there in the city? Birbal immediately smiled and went up to Akbar. He announced the answer. He said, there were 21,523 crows in the city. When asked how he knew the answer, Birbal replied, ask your men to count the number of crows. If there are more, then the relatives of the crows must be visiting them from nearby cities. If there are fewer, if there are less, then the crows from our city must have visiting their relatives nearby or outside the city. Pleased with the answer, Akbar presented Birbal with a ruby and a pearl chain. This is the story. In the classroom, when the teacher is reading out this story, ask the children to stop the teacher every time by raising the hand. He stopped the teacher because he wants to add an adjective everywhere. For example, Akbar asked a question. A student may raise a hand and he may say, Akbar asked a difficult question. So, the next time teacher reads out the story along with the adjective given by the student. So this can be done. This will be a fun learning adjectives. Teaching English grammar is fun, not funny. Let me come up with more activities for teachers in the next episodes. See you.